Okay, assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Like, I personally want to talk about something, and it's kind of touchy on my family side, but I want to say this. I'm a Muslim. I'm just gonna say this up front. Up front. I'm a practicing Muslim. I'm a Muslim. I've been a Muslim for a few months. I'm still learning. But, I want to say how did I get here? Okay, first where I started, I was a Christian. I was a Christian. One could say one could say I was a Muslim when I was born, and then I became a Christian later. Christian later. Later, and you do know when I was a Christian, I was actually advocating for my mom and my dad to have me baptized, and they were like, not now, but I would eventually get baptized. I would get baptized at that time. I, and like when I was a Christian, there was this one major thing that was getting weird with me. Well, see, if Jesus, peace be on him, died for everyone's sins, then like okay. First off, it doesn't matter whether or not you lead your life, how you lead your life. Essentially, it doesn't matter how one leads their life. Like essentially, one could be, you could be good or bad, but whatever. Also, like, see, oftentimes in Christianity, it says, like, don't let your hands become the source of your destruction, but there are Christians that smoke, and I was like, but there are pious Christians. Like, so where should I go? Where should I go? And also, there's this major thing. See, my mom and my dad and my brother, mostly my mom, my sister, and my brother, were constantly saying this in a very anti way. They were basically talking very anti-science essentially. And you saying, I want to learn about the universe around us, but there was also this idea that bow down to God, and as you know, in modern day Christianity, there's the Trinity. So I'm like, should I bow down to God, or should I learn science? Like my mind was at a crossroad all the time, and it was actually destroying me. My mind was getting very. I really, really wanted to learn more about physics, but my dad was basically telling me bow down to God, or really not my dad, mostly my brother, and my sister, and they were, let's just say they were very anti-science, right? And I didn't know where to go. No, and there would be times where I would be bouncing from just being part of the rest to going into mathematics and science. I'm like, should I learn about mathematics and science, or should I learn about the universe around, or should I like bow down to God? Right. I thought science and religion were two separate entities. But when I started looking into the great mind, into the smart people, I realized Isaac Newton, he was a Christian. Albert Einstein, he was Jewish. And like many Islamic scholars, many like so like it's like there were Islamic physicists. Yes, they exist. They exist. So constantly, I'm like, but these people exist. So these people exist. So they definitely learned about mathematics, physics, science, and they were religious. I was even constantly saying you don't have to be an atheist to be a scientist. I remember telling my brother this, and my brother said, "No, you'll be going down the wrong road." And I was like, and eventually this would be one of the major reasons that would cause me to leave Christianity, modern day Christianity, later down the road. Later down the road. This would cause me to leave modern day Christianity later down the road. But this wasn't the only reason. There was definitely other reasons, like actually its stance on homosexuality. Now, this is kind of a touchy subject, so I'm just going to break this down. Right now, my stance on homosexuality is saying the feelings are okay just as long as you don't act on them. Although, it can be a little tricky. See, us Muslims, I'm personally saying I'm going after getting mad at the zina part, people playing around with sex as a toy and pulling off of its original place. So, I'm just going to get that off the case. However, when I was a Christian, like my brother and my sister were like raging homophobes. So personally, essentially, I was like, but wait, Jesus talked to a prostitute. He talked to a prostitute. He obviously didn't have sex with her, but he did like talk to them. He did talk to them, and it was almost feeling like that Christianity, or at least modern day, most modern mainstream popular interpretations push 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 this like a no mercy case when God, or in that case the Trinity is supposed to be very merciful. But, like, I later looked into it and realized that, well, if you had to be a Christian, you have to accept one major thing that, you had to accept one major thing that God had to be paid. And to be honest, I would kind of admit, looking back, I would realize Christianity was kind of forcing me to put my mind in a box and not use it. Because when I look at the box, it's going to crumble completely. Completely. Now, when I talk about Christianity, I want to make something clear. I'm talking about modern day popular Christianity, not the classical version. Not the classical version. Not like as it was at the time of Isa alayhi salam. Now Isa is just another word for Jesus, peace be on him. So I want to make something clear. So this would be one of the major reasons that would actually cause, and would actually start realizing that most modern day Christians are not even following Jesus' teachings. I'm not saying all of them, but I started to realize, looking back, I would have told myself way in the past when I was a Christian, if you were a modern day Christian, you would be bound down to God alone, because Jesus, peace be on him, never said. Looking back, I realized Jesus never even called himself God. So yeah, but anyway, I would end up leaving Christianity and becoming an atheist. I never had Muslim friends. And until recently. See, I was an atheist, and there was a time, and actually later, a few months later, my dad and my sister ended up taking my phone, and I would be looking on my Chromebook and looking at science videos, and this caused me somehow to go back into a science mode. And when I was an atheist, when I was a Christian, or at least the version that was being fed to me was actually very, very, very anti-science. So I basically started thinking religion is very anti-science. That there was a time where I could have been an open religious advocate or anti-religious advocate, but it looks like I didn't, because, it was mostly based on free speech. Kind of. I would admit, looking back, I was kind of somewhat hypocritical. I would definitely admit. Although, see, in April of 2021, throughout this time when I was an atheist, I met this person online. Now, I don't know if that person is going to be comfortable with me mentioning her name, so I'm going to fall on a safe name, on a code name, Erica, which means strong and warrior-like. That perfectly that describes her. She's very smart. She has a love for mathematics, physics, science. I've never seen this, and to be honest, part of me kind of started thinking that she was an atheist, or at least at the time. However, the further I dived into it, when she was going through very hard times, I realized she was talking mostly about God's, so stuff like that. Mentioned God's wrath, right? And this caused me to go a little bit more interested into religion, but not really. I didn't know what religion she was in. Although, eventually, this went on for some time. Although I would admit, at that time, when I was an atheist, I had no mercy on her parents. And looking back, I was like, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this: whoever has no mercy, Allah subhanahu